The following is a pre-recorded show. Welcome to Winning in Retirement with your host, Brian Akers, certified financial planner professional and founder of Akers Financial Group. Now, helping you win in your retirement, here's Brian Akers.
Good morning. I'm Brian Akers from Akers Financial Group, and welcome to Winning in Retirement. I'm a certified financial planner practitioner, and today my guest host is starting Jeff Akers. The reason I'm going with starting Jeff Akers is Jeff Akers and I are going to have a bunch of talks today, and we're going to basically introduce ourselves to you. We're going to have a show called Press the Start Button. But what I want to do first is introduce you to Jeff Larry Akers. Good morning, Jeff.
Good morning, Brian. He knows my whole name because he's known me my whole life. And we're cousins. Our fathers are brothers.
Absolutely. We've been working together for 20 years in the financial services industry. Jeff is a certified financial planner practitioner, Series 7, investment advisor representative, life and health license, and been working with me over 20 years and learning the ins and outs of financial planning, which is pretty cool. Now, Jeff, that was pretty exciting to be introduced, wasn't it?
Oh, absolutely. And you left off the last one and the most important one, current radio star. That's what we are today.
Yeah, I left that off on purpose. All right, now starting, did you ever start in a sport in high school where you were introduced, or were you just a soccer player?
Never got to be introduced. I played soccer, and they don't introduce you in soccer. And then after the game, whether you win or lose, you shake hands and you walk off. There was no excitement back then for soccer.
Yeah, basketball is where it's at. You get introduced, and then you get to run out on the court. Every time I think about that, I think about when I shook the other coach's hand, and I was a freshman. I shook the other coach's hand. I ran back to the line of my guys, tripped and fell on my feet, and slid into the center's legs. The center's a big 6'6" guy, and I was a little dinky freshman laying there looking up. Totally embarrassed. It was a great way to start. But whenever you start a show, it's fun. So Jeff, in college soccer they wave, so that's pretty cool. But high school soccer, unless it's a night game, they usually don't, right?
Yeah, they don't. I was just going to say about your basketball story, though, it's a real shame we didn't have cell phones with cameras on them back then, because that would have been all over Facebook and YouTube, and it would be for the end of days.
It's just in my memory. But guess what? Many times we fall in life. We got to get ourselves back up and play the game, right? Now, the show's called Winning in Retirement. Winning in retirement. Now, you don't just say, oh, I'm retired, let's go out and win now. You got to practice. You got to get things ready. You got to prepare. Be ready to be retired. Today's show is called Press the Start Button. Press the Start Button. What does that mean? Well, so many of you guys, I guess people that have new cars, have a start button, and you're not going to get anywhere until you press that button. Of course, one foot has to be on the brake when you hit that button. It's the same thing with your retirement. You got to press the start button. You got to start planning now. And if you're going to do it, it's best to do it with a fiduciary financial advisor. And that's what this show is going to be about today. It's called Press the Start Button. We're going to introduce Akers Financial Group. We're going to introduce our process and why you need to begin by pressing the start button in your own financial planning and retirement planning. And there is no better day to start than today. All right, and if you want to get started, just got to give us a call at 833-WIN-RETIRE. That's 833-WIN-RETIRE. For those that like numbers, it's 833-946-7384, and that'll help you sign up for a free meeting with us to go over and start pressing the start button. All right, Jeff, so you ready to go here in the first quarter?
Absolutely. All warmed up, stretched out, ready to let her rip.
All right, so let's just do real basic. People need to start. What's your opinion on when they should start in financial planning and getting ready to be retired someday?
You've got to start right now. A lot of times people say, oh, I'll do this tomorrow, or they put it off, where we tend to be procrastinators and put off things that can be a little bit of work. And it needs to be done. And so you can't start yesterday. That's already gone. And you don't want to put it off till tomorrow. So start now. The earlier you start, the easier it will be when you get to game time and winning in retirement. Some
people think they have to have a certain amount of money to start, a certain amount of of job, a certain amount of income. They got to they're always waiting to that beginning day to get going. And my question to you, Jeff, would be yes, start today, start tomorrow, but is there a minimum concept when you need to start having a financial advisor or a financial coach? I mean, everyone needs to do well with their finances from day one, but when do they add a financial coach in when it comes to their financial planning?
Right. So beyond having a certain amount of money or a certain job, you need to have a certain mindset. And seeing a financial advisor, getting coached, can help you develop that mindset that then you develop that certain amount of money, that certain income from work, and you start preparing for the future. So, I mean, honestly, guys, first getting their first job, could be just out of high school even. Talk to a financial advisor, get in that right mindset and build those good habits for the rest of your life. If you wait until you're 40 and you've lived that long with bad habits, then you've got a limited amount of time to change your habits, which is difficult, and to make up for lost time before you develop those good habits. So it's about a mindset. You want to develop that right mindset as early as possible, and that's today.
It's like if you want to be a very good at basketball, you don't just show up one day and start playing. You need to practice, and you need to work on your shot, your form, your touch, and it takes thousands and thousands of shots to develop the memory, the muscle memory to be able to knock down the shots that you need to do in a game. No sport can be taken without practice and getting yourself in the best shape possible to play. Imagine your finances are exactly the same thing. You need to start by getting everything in shape. Now, in shape, what does that mean? We're going to try to go over today the whole process of financial planning, trying to cover why, the how, and really when it comes down to who. Like, is it you and a financial advisor? How do you pick a financial advisor? And then if you consider Acres Financial Group, what do they bring to the table? Are they someone that could fit in your family's financial planning? So, Jeff, when a new client calls, normally they call, and then what kind of things do they say to you?
They'll usually have one question. It could be, I got this letter in the mail that my pension wants me to make a decision about, and I've got a limited amount of time, and I'm just not sure what to do. And so we can work on that one question, answer that question. Sometimes someone has passed away and you're receiving an inheritance, and you're just not sure what to do with that inheritance, how to invest it, and how to make that work for you. And there are sometimes people come in with a tax question. Most of the time folks call because one thing has happened, one thing has come up, and they've got a question about it, and that's our starting point where we get into things. And so we'll answer that question, and then we'll answer some other questions that you might not have even had when you first came in that you should have been asking.
Right. For all those listening out there, that first call, we don't charge by the minute or by the 6 minutes when it comes to this initial conversation. We believe that a client or a possible client and an advisor at Acres Financial Group really truly needs to get to know each other to see if it's a good fit. A good fit is someone that has certain goals in life, and then Acres Financial Group can provide them. So what we're going to try to explain how we work, how it goes together, and see if it is a good fit for you. So imagine you have a question. The question might be on a retirement plan. It could be where your company has this pension plan and they froze it, and now all of a sudden they're giving you options and you have a deadline. And you're like, well, who do I call? Well, if someone calls Acres Financial Group, let's give the example of someone has a pension, that pension is frozen, and they have a lump sum payout that has to happen within like 30 days. How does that begin a process, Jeff?
Well, we're going to get an idea of your overall financial picture. We're going to find out as much as we can about that pension and what those options are. Sometimes it'll say you've got to take a lump sum. Sometimes it'll say you can take a lump sum now, or you can put it off and take payments later. And so we want to evaluate those options. We want to look at the strength of the pension. Is it solid? Is it going to be there when you retire? So it's going to start with us asking a lot of questions, asking for information from you so that we can develop the right recommendation for you, what's best for you.
Right, so that's just a perfect example of someone has something immediate need right now. These immediate needs could be transitions of life. Transitions of life is someone passed away, your job's changed, somebody's basically wants to dial back their time, someone got a promotion, people want to buy things, they want to sell things, they receive an inheritance. There's so many transitions and triggers in life where you just need a financial advisor at that moment. And that is many times the reason people give us that first call, is when there is an event, a transition.
A fairly common one, too, is you have that first child. You might get married and you think, okay, it's just the two of us, and you don't really worry about the future. But you have that first child and you start thinking about, okay, I'm responsible for this young human being. What am I going to do to provide for them? And so you start thinking a little longer term about how to behave correctly in order to take care of them. And so sometimes we'll get that first call around that first child and start the planning process then.
Right, the planning process, we're going to explain that throughout the show today. We're talking right now is reasons people call. People call because something is on their mind, something's transitioning. Now, one of the best times to call is right when you think of it. And that's exactly what we need to do. And we need to do things where we stop procrastinating, stop putting things off. The easiest thing in life is to put it off. And I can tell you that the tomorrow, so I'm going to do it tomorrow, is going to keep happening, and you'll keep wanting to do it tomorrow, and before you know it, your age just rises quickly, and before you know it, you have to do it, and you're a little behind the eight ball at that time, and you have to catch up. What we want you to do is this. We want you to have an enjoyable retirement where you're winning in retirement, because we all know the best part of retirement is getting your time back. You decide how to use it. Before retirement, your time is tied up with other commitments, mainly your job. A lot of that goes away at retirement. Your time is now consumed by things that you want to do. That's the goal, right? To begin winning in retirement, give us a call at 833-WIN-RETIRE. That's 833-WIN-RETIRE. When you call, leave us a voice message, and Susan will call you back on Monday to schedule a virtual meeting, which could be phone or video Zoom, or an in-person meeting, which is more mass-to-mass still, at one of our offices in Farmville or Lutherville. But start planning now. Start planning your retirement now, right now. Call 833-946-7384 or visit acresfinancialgroup.com. Why have you not called a financial planner yet? We'll talk about it in the second quarter.
You're listening to a pre-recorded show. Welcome back to Winning in Retirement. Call 833-WIN-RETIRE now to schedule a visit with Brian and his team and begin winning in retirement. Once again, here's Brian Akers.
Welcome back to Winning in Retirement. I'm Brian Akers. Here with me today is Jeff Akers. We are certified financial planner practitioners from Akers Financial Group, and we welcome you back to the second quarter of Winning in Retirement. Today's show is called Press the Start Button. Many cars today have a start button, and you're not going to get anywhere until you hit that button. Same thing with your retirement. You got to press the start button. You got to start planning now. And if you're going to do it, it's best to do it with a fiduciary financial advisor. Today's show, we're covering the concepts of financial planning and how to get started when it comes to your own financial planning. All right, so when we're leaving the first quarter and jumping here in the second quarter, Jeff, the question is this. Why haven't people called a financial planner yet? What are your thoughts on that, Jeff?
Well, sometimes people just don't want to face finances. People don't like thinking about a budget. That's one example. And so they think, well, I'll do that tomorrow. And then it turns into, tomorrow comes around and you're like, well, I'll do it tomorrow. And so we put it off. We procrastinate. That's one big one, and I'm sure we'll talk some more about that. But another one is they think, I just don't know how this works. What's the process? What's going to happen when I make this phone call? And so just that worry, if you will, about the process sometimes prevents people from making that call. But, sometimes that call that you don't want to make is one of the most important calls that you should make for your future.
Yeah, I guess when I think about procrastination, the thought I always have is this. When you have good ideas, you write it down, right? And then you put it in that special pile that you're going to work on later, right? And so that pile might be, let's call it a space in your house, whatever that space is. And then what happens is when people come over, you clean up that space and you put it in a drawer. And so that idea has been moving, and it moves from that table to that drawer, and it's sort of hidden away. And then maybe a year or two later, you clean out that drawer and you find out, oh yeah, that's a good idea. I should have done that. I'll bring it back on top of the table. And then you think about it again. It's almost like New Year's resolutions or those great awakening moments when you're thinking about life and you say, oh, I got to do this. My question is this, what's it going to take for you to get started when it comes to financial planning? We think an introduction to a financial advisor that would fit you and your family's financial goals is extremely important. There's many reasons to put it off, like Jeff said, procrastination, unsure of the process. The making that call is not as painful as you might think. It does involve going over where you are and explaining the good, the bad, the ugly of your personal finances. Because once we address that, then we can move forward. We happen to call that the financial fingerprint process. Now this is something where we really need you to do the following thing, and that is this. Take a look at your thumb. All right. You see your thumb. Some thumbs are bent, some thumbs aren't really the prettiest, but one thing about a thumb is that most of them have a fingerprint. I think not all of them, but most of them have a fingerprint. And that fingerprint is individual and unique to you. Your finances are all unique to you. And so your financial fingerprint is not like anyone else. So your financial plan should not be like anyone else. It shouldn't come from a book. It shouldn't come from a couple clicks on a computer. It needs to be something where you talk about it, you look at your goals, you look at where you are, and you build a plan. At Acres Financial Group, we have a basic 5-step process we try to guide people through. We try to identify exactly your thumb, your fingerprint, Then we want to inform and educate about where you are and help you understand what's out there. And then we got to identify what risk level you want to take. And then we provide an intelligent approach, almost like a things to do list, a checklist of things to work on. And yes, it takes time, it takes discipline, but over time, this financial fingerprint leads to a full financial plan. And as we do that and fully implement, we then go through a process of review, of routine portfolio evaluation, viewing insurance, keeping up with you as you make your way through life. So financial fingerprint, Jeff, has been something we've always done for people, with them enjoying it or sometimes not, right, Jeff?
Well, that's true. And as you were talking about that making that first call and being unsure of the process and just the work that might go into that and revealing the good, the bad, and the ugly of your finances. My background is in marriage and family counseling. So when I sit down with folks, I'm not going to judge. I'm there to help. I like helping people. That's why I do financial planning. So I don't want you to feel like, when we call and we're going to, oh no, I've got this situation that I'm, not proud of. Don't let that stop you. Come in, let us help you through that situation. That's why we're here. And then that financial fingerprint, we'll go through a bunch of questions to figure out exactly where you are. And we don't want you to hide anything, because then the advice that we give you isn't going to be the best for you. We have to know what's going on in order to give the best advice for you. Brian mentioned being a fiduciary financial planner. That means that we've got your best interest at heart. Any recommendation we make has to be in your best interest. And the way we can find that is by knowing your complete situation. That's why we gather the information in that financial fingerprint.
Yeah, to actually do that financial fingerprint, you can actually go to our webpage at acresfinancialgroup.com. At acresfinancialgroup.com, there's a couple of things. One, if you scroll down, you'll see Learn More about Financial Fingerprint. It has some basic information there. There's also a tab called Documents. And Documents is a section where we actually begin our process. You can see things such as our best interest disclosures, which explains how we work, which we're going to cover here in a couple minutes. Also, you see document checklists, things that gather financial planning information. Those things are helping us identify and to develop the financial fingerprint. It's all there on the web page under Documents at acresfinancialgroup.com. So when people come in and do this talk, many times they're nervous about, do they have enough money? Are they in the right spot? Now, when we were talking about, I'm sorry, I was going back to another thought I had was this. Remember, Jeff, how you're saying the ugly and the good, bad, and ugly? Or actually, I said that, and then you said it again. Well, the good, bad, and ugly comes in a couple of different shapes and sizes. Sometimes it's because of financial failures, but a lot of times it's happened because people have financial success and they're embarrassed that they've had such success that they haven't done one thing for their own personal finances. And my thing is that's normal. Extremely busy person, no matter what they're in, they might be out there working 100 hours a week or more, making a lot of money and building up wealth, and then they've never done anything with it. You can see this in many estate plans of people that are maybe from sports stars or people that have made a lot of money in TV. I guess Larry King's most recent one with a handwritten will or something there's news about. And I get really a little messed over by they can afford financial advisors. Why don't they do it? And sometimes when you put things off and you procrastinate, no matter how wealthy, how well you've done, it's good to have somebody step in that you can trust and work with. That trust is really where the fiduciary part starts, but it does not end there. Trust is really about that person you're working with, the company they're affiliated with, and will they fit with you? So what happens is there is a process. We had developed at Acres Financial Group processes to help people where they are. Yes, we are something called a fee and or commission. So we have different paths to work together depending on where people are. Because people come to Acres Financial Group in many different ways. Sometimes they've been through a brokerage house and they have investments that they've already paid upfront commissions. And what we want to do is work with that and basically help reallocate according to their plan without having a new commission or charging an extra fee on something like that, because we want to have good balance. So let's start out with breaking out a little simple, a fee and or commission. If people can go on a couple different paths. One path or trail is called the planning trail. So the planning trail, can you describe that?
So in a planning trail, we're going to develop a full-blown written plan with a bunch of recommendations. Brian mentioned a checklist earlier. We have a recommendations checklist as part of that plan, and we're going to go through the details of your financial situation. And when we do that, we'll charge you a planning fee. This will be a set fee that we'll discuss at the beginning. There'll be a contract that details how much the fee is and what kind of work we're going to do in order to earn that fee. Usually we have half of that fee is paid at the beginning. We get through the plan, and when we're done, that's when the second half of the planning fee is due. So that's the planning trail where we're doing a specific financial plan, writing out the recommendations. That's not really involving us implementing stuff, but we would like to implement the recommendations that we have in the plan as well. But just the planning trail is just that straight financial plan.
Right, and then the second trail is called the investment trail. The investment trail leads to where they might have money actively managed by one of their management groups. Acres Financial Group manages money through Brookstone Capital, and we have a RIA called Kalos Management, which we'll explain later in the show what all those letters mean. But generally what happens is that active management, there's typically a fee charged for fee-based management like that. If there is something we're going to buy and hold, it might be a one-time commission might be the best way of providing that service. Insurance, life, long-term care, health, annuities, there's a commission that might be the better way of paying for an advisor, is having it paid through a commission in that category. The hardest part there is making sure you know what's going on. So getting disclosures of those commissions up front is something that we do at Acres Financial Group. Acres Financial Group, we're local, we're independent. We don't report to a big company on Wall Street or a big insurance company in Iowa. We have offices, Farmington and Lutherville, but work with clients all around the country and a few clients around the world. This financial fingerprint talk is all about you and your retirement, not about us. To begin winning in retirement, call Acres Financial Group to schedule your free meeting. Call us at 833-WIN-RETIRE. That's 833-WIN-RETIRE. When you call, you can leave us a voice message, and Susan will call you back on Monday to schedule a virtual meeting or an in-person meeting, mass to mass, if that's appropriate. Start planning for your retirement now. Give us a call at 833-946-7384 or visit acresfinancialgroup.com. What's your one retirement question? We'll discuss that in the third quarter.
You're listening to a pre-recorded show. Welcome back to Winning in Retirement. Call 833-WIN-RETIRE now to schedule a visit with Brian and his team and begin winning in retirement. Once again, here's Brian Akers.
Welcome back to Winning in Retirement. I'm Brian Akers, and here with me today is Jeff Akers. We're both certified financial planner practitioners with Acres Financial Group. Today's show is called Press the Start Button. Let's get started on your financial planning. Let's hit that start button as we get ready for your own retirement that will be coming in the future. If you're already retired, maybe things got to get better. Maybe you got to restart. Hit a restart button. But restart. Let's go ahead and hit that button. Now, what happens is this: when we ended the third quarter and into the second quarter, we went into halftime, and we go into halftime. Just like anything, you have to have a pep talk. Now, Jeff had the honor of playing in the Maryland Soccer State Championship as a senior or a junior, Jeff?
I was a junior that year.
You're a junior, and you're in the Soccer State Championship with his high school team. What was halftime like, and how did you come out in the second half?
Well, remember, this was a long time ago, and we were in this game, but the team we were playing against was way better than us.
Oh, okay.
And so we scored first. We were excited, and one of the guys on the team said he knew we were in trouble when the other team started laughing because we had scored. And so by halftime, we were losing like 6-1 or something. And so at halftime, the coach said, all right, here's what's happened in the first half. Let's make some adjustments. Here's what we'll do in the second half. And in the second half, we only lost that 1-0. So we felt like we did a lot better in the second half. So at halftime, we review what happens in the first half, build on it, what can we do better in the second half, and then we go for it.
Sorry to bring up a bad memory, but it was an honor to be in the state championship, Jeff. I know I was there at that game. Yes, they were incredible. I'm sorry, was it Oakland Mills that beat you that day?
It was. I wasn't going to bring up any names.
No, your high school team was excellent, and it was a great thing. But generally, what happens is this. When we come out of halftime, we got to be better prepared for what's going on. In the show, we're coming out in the second half. Man, we're trying to be better prepared for this second half. All right, this section here, we're going to talk about a lot of things. So hold on tight. Hold on to that steering wheel. Hold on to your coffee. We're talking about, the first question we're going to talk about is this. We'll try to answer the one question, because many people have one retirement question. Have you ever experienced that, Jeff?
Oh, absolutely. Folks, they'll have someone passed away, and they'll come in with all right, what do I do now? I don't know what the process is. And so we'll kind of walk them through that process. Earlier we talked about the planning trail, and sometimes that's where the planning trail comes into play. People just need a coach just to get them through the process. And it's not that they're inheriting a lot of things that they have to invest, but they are kind of in charge of distributing assets and things like that from an estate. And so we'll coach them through that process.
Yeah, throughout the year, there's different times of the year when people call in. And they'll call in and they'll ask questions like, I'm a small business owner. How can I save money on taxes? And then we say, well, there's different important dates that you have to know. Such things like there's a plan called a simple IRA. which is usually done in the year that you're in, but you have to have it set up by October 1st to take advantage of that. If someone is trying to do retirement planning when the year's already over, then you have to look at things like a SEP IRA or some other options that are available. These are retirement plans for small business owners. I've had clients that are real estate agents where they have a great year and then they get it all calculated and they see the tax and they get a little nervous. We talked about IRA deductibility and how much that would be, and then we can add in some other plans where they can put away maybe up to 25% of that profit up to a limit through SEP IRAs. Retirement questions usually begin with tax. Like, I'm paying a lot of tax. What can I do to reduce my taxes? And so that's a normal retirement question that we get throughout the year. There's also questions of transition, life transition. Something's happening. What options do I pick? What do I do? The sad part is sometimes when you start your first job, you just check the box when you walk into that first job. Yeah, whatever you got, I'll do it. Some people don't even put money into the 401k plan because it's like, well, I just need a paycheck. I'll change that later. And later becomes 3 to 5 years later, and they realize they never got a match because they weren't maximizing the match. There's so much that goes on in financial planning. We just need you guys to get started. Press the start button and make sure you're doing everything you can. We've seen executives throughout Maryland that don't take advantage of deferred comp plans and after-tax savings. They max out the 401k, but that's nowhere near enough to replace the income they need in their life. There's so many benefits available in some companies that it takes a financial expert to get you to do them all, So that one question is very important, and if it leads to you having a relationship and having a financial advisor, it's a great question. You need to get started. But what happens when it comes to financial planning? For some people, they get so worried about, well, am I ready? Am I eligible? I don't know how much it's going to cost me. Can I even afford a financial advisor? What's your questions to that kind of stuff, Jeff? And then can you try to explain financial advisors and licensing and all the confusion that goes on with all this?
Right. Earlier, Brian mentioned that we have an RIA called Kalos Management based down in Alpharetta, Georgia. RIA stands for Registered Investment Advisor. And as representatives through them, we're called Investment Advisor Representatives, IAR. They just like to rearrange the letters, it seems. But as working this way, we can have a fee for advice. So we can charge a fee for that advice. This also allows us to charge a fee for that management that Brian was talking about earlier for doing an investment trail. So RIA also requires that we act as a fiduciary. That's part of the law, is that we have to act as a fiduciary under the RIA. Now, you might have heard of stockbrokers, and we call that a Series 7 licensing, and we're Series 7 licensed. Our broker-dealer is called Kalos Capital, also down in Alpharetta, Georgia. And Series 7 means that we can buy and sell stocks, bonds, mutual funds, securities for a commission. Now, they don't, at least at the moment, have a true fiduciary standard for Series 7 only licensed folks. They use something that's more of a suitability standard. Do you fit the investment versus does the investment fit you? Is the standard for that. And then we are also life and health licensed. That means that we can help you with things like life insurance, annuities, health insurance, disability insurance, all the insurance kinds of things. And insurance companies pay a commission to us. So that's a way that we can get paid through the life and health side. And then Brian and I are both also CFPs, Certified Financial Planner Practitioners. He's mentioned that. And that's not a license that lets us do anything necessarily, but it's a certification, and it does have that fiduciary requirement for everything that we do as a Certified Financial Planner Practitioner. So that's a quick rundown of the licenses. Hopefully I covered what you wanted there, Brian.
Yeah, I covered the basics of it. The CFP, Certified Financial Planning, is something that I've been a CFP since 1991, and I got it let's call it 23, 24 years old. So it's something that I believe greatly in. It's not just about what investment to buy. It's about the financial planning that then drives down the right answer. So financial planning, I think a certified financial planning is a very, very important thing. So at Acres Financial Group, we have three CFPs. They're all radio hosts. We have another candidate that's taken the final test, which I think is that the 7th test that we have another one of our guys. Yeah, I think it's the 7th one, and that's coming up the next week, I think.
Yeah, well, there's like 7 classes you have to take, and then there's the big test at the end of that, and he's to the big test at the end of it.
Yeah, there's 6 tests, and then the big one's the 7th test to finish. And then we got 2 candidates just getting started. So we're an incubator for financial planners. So at Acres Financial Group, we do have employees that are incredible and do very, very well. Currently, we're looking to add to our staff. If you like to be in financial planning, if you like operations, there's opportunities at Acres Financial Group. You just give a call or check us out on our website and hit the information. If you are in Harford County, and that'd be perfect. If you're looking for a job like that, Acres Financial Group has some job openings, which is pretty cool. We've been very blessed as a company with great employees and great clients, especially. All right, so when you're talking about suitability, there's something called a best interest. Can you do your best to explain what a BI is?
So that's the fiduciary standard, or a part of the fiduciary standard. It's where an investment decision or any recommendation really has to be in the best interest of the client. So sometimes there are conflicts of interest. If we're selling something that pays a commission and there's 2 different products that are close to the same and one has a higher commission, well, now we have a conflict of interest. Because are we going to want to sell you the one with the lower commission or the one with the higher commission? As a fiduciary, best interest, we have to sell you the one that's right for you regardless of the commission that we would be paid, regardless of our compensation from that. That's just a quick example of how that best interest works compared to suitability. It's kind of that idea of do you fit the investment or does the investment fit you?
All right, so under that new rule that started last summer, we actually have our best interest disclosure on our website. If you go to acresfinancialgroup.com, go under documents, you'll see Kalos Financial Regulation Best Interest Disclosure. In there, you'll see how we're affiliated, the conflicts of interest. It covers a lot of information about our company. And this is something that should be provided by any and all financial advisors that are out there at the hello. So at our hello on emails, almost every time you do anything, you get this disclosure, so you have a chance to always know about it. Financial planning is something that's needed by everyone. Today's show is about pressing the start button. That start button is something where you are being proactive. You're taking advantage of opportunities in front of you. What's happened over the last few years is that we've become very reactive in life, very defensive in every way, to a point where we don't do things. We're asking you to do this. Get into a creating mode. Sit up. Get going in life. Get the opportunities that are out there. Take advantage of them to reach the goals that you have. Set goals to achieve them. Let's get started. And the way we get started is this, is that you give Acres Financial Group a call, and you can begin to win in your retirement by taking advantage of this opportunity, of that free meeting. Call us at 833-WIN-RETIRE. That's 833-WIN-RETIRE. When you call, leave us a voice message, and Susan will call you back on Monday to schedule a virtual appointment or a possible in-person meeting in one of our offices. And then you'll meet with one of our team of advisors to begin your financial fingerprint process. Start planning now by giving us a call at 833-946-7384 or visit acresfinancialgroup.com. Jeff and I don't know how to do your job. What does that have to do with your retirement? We'll fully explain in the fourth quarter.
You're listening to a pre-recorded show. Welcome back to Winning in Retirement. Call 833-WIN-RETIRE now to schedule a visit with Brian and his team and begin winning in retirement. Once again, here's Brian Akers.
Welcome to the fourth quarter of Winning in Retirement. Yes, this is winning time. It's the time you got to pay attention. We're going to say a lot of important things, and you're going to want to know what you need to do now. I'm Brian Akers. Here with me today is Jeff Akers, and we're certified financial planner practitioners. And we've been doing a show today about press the start button. You know those new cars, you put your key might be in your pocket still. You just got to hit the start button. But you also got to hit the brake button at the same time. You hit the start button, or the car doesn't start. You need to actually hit the start button on your retirement planning. When do you need to hit that start button? Yesterday, today. Don't wait for tomorrow. So give us a call at Akers Financial Group, or go to our website, and you can go through there and ask for a first free initial appointment with us. So, Jeff, there's a lot going on out there, and one of the things I wanted people to know about is that you and I are cousins, so we're going to fully disclose that. Our fathers are brothers, so we got to disclose everything in financial planning industry. And then Jeff did not get the job from pure nepotism. Jeff was actually in Texas, and so the summer of 2000, 20-some years ago, I interviewed over 20 different people to be a financial planning assistant, but it kept coming across my mind that I had a cousin who was working in healthcare and insurance and processing, all kinds of things in healthcare, and I thought he'd be a great fit to support and help my new starting companies, you know. All right, so Jeff, that's how long we've been working together. Is that a fair story?
Yes, it is a fair story. I did get married while I was in Texas to a Texas girl, and so I had to bring her with me kicking and screaming. But yeah, we moved here in the fall of 2000.
All right, and you like the Orioles and the Rangers?
I like the Orioles, the Rangers, I like the Ravens, and I do like the Cowboys. I do like the Mavericks, and I like the Stars in hockey.
All right, so it's like a split fanhood, I guess. That's okay. But the fourth quarter is winning time. I'm not going to bring up Ranger history of baseball and 2 strikes away from World Series win or anything like that. What we're going to talk about is financial planning. I'm sorry. Didn't mean to do that to you, Jeff. But all right, so today's show
alligator
is
arms
about
in the outfield.
Oh my, or a glove over the wall, right? Different times in life, things aren't good. But in financial planning, we got to plan for it so we can have a great retirement, so things work out the way you want. So today we're talking about press the start button. Getting yourself ready for financial planning has to have a beginning. Now, Akers Financial Group, we believe in one client at a time. And so one of the things I wanted to start with is this question, Jeff. Jeff and I don't know how to do your job. What does that have to do with your retirement? What do you think, Jeff?
Well, if you're really good at your job, you're an expert at it, that means that what we do, we're good at our jobs. We are experts at our jobs. And so we don't know how to do your job, but you don't know how to do our job either. And that's why we're here to help. Clients that work with us will delegate. They know what they don't know, and they'll delegate to other people. I've got a friend that likes to say you can't beat a man at his own game, and so that's why he seeks the help of people that are good in their field of expertise. So that's why you're good at your job. Brian told a story one time about meeting with a fella who worked in construction, drove a bulldozer and everything, and he was asking a lot of questions, or resisting some of Brian's advice, and Brian was like, look, if I need something dug up with a bulldozer, I'm calling you because you know how to do it. This is what I do for a living, and this advice that I'm giving you is in your best interest, and here's why. And so, we work with clients that delegate and understand that they need help in what they want to do financially in order to succeed and to win in retirement.
Yeah, well, there's different personality types out there. Some people that really are open to having people help and delegate to them. Some people delegate everything. Some people are more educated and educated on the idea of delegating portions. And there's some people who won't let anything out of their hand. And so clients come in all shapes and sizes. Many of our most successful people are so good at their job, they don't have time to do the financial planning side. And that's where financial advice and financial advisors that develop a process of not just doing the beginning financial plan, but following up. Now, at Acres Financial Group, we call this one client at a time, where we sit down, talk about people's ideas, goals, dreams, everything going on. And we take where they are, we call that the financial fingerprint, and take them to where they need to be. What that means is this is a constant process of review. So we have a full-time person that helps produce reports and planning when it comes to where their money is and how it's doing. We have full-time paraplanners that write up exactly what's going on every item in a financial plan, from legal to insurance to the investments to income to cash flow to savings accounts. And we create things to do to help them on their tax, to help them in their investments, insurance, making a well-balanced life. So when you think about it, Jeff, and it comes down to the process at Acres Financial Group, what are all the areas that you try to cover?
Well, one of the things that I do a lot of work in is health insurance, just helping people navigate health insurance, whether it's employer-sponsored, what's your health insurance through work, or you don't have a job, you might have been in that transition where you've lost a job and you need health insurance outside of an employer, or maybe you're turning 65 and you need Medicare, and just help navigate how those things work. So that's one of the things that I focus on here at Acres Financial Group. But all of us work on the financial retirement planning aspect of things, and making sure that you've got enough income to meet your needs so that you can succeed in retirement and win in retirement.
Exactly right. So financial planning is a scary word. It really is. And people don't really want to do financial planning. So what happens is this. You call with that one question, and we answer that one question. Now, in our mind, we're thinking, oh, that's a modular. We'll do one piece of the planning, but then we're going to do the rest. Now, you might have a simple question, and then we have 1,000 questions back. And that is because of a lot of reasons. Imagine that you're inviting us into your financial life, and we need to basically learn about you, understand where you are, and we call that financial fingerprint because you're unique. You're an individual with finances that are individual to you. You have pensions or not, Social Security or not, healthy or not, married or not, a saver or a debtor. There's all kinds of differences in all of us, and we have to design a plan that meets you. There is no one product that meets all of this, no matter what salespeople might think. It takes a process of going through the planning, and then when you're done the planning, the plan says we need this. We need long-term care life insurance. We need a Roth IRA. We need to reallocate our funds. We need to balance our portfolio. It just goes through all this. We need better beneficiaries. We didn't fill out the forms. There's so many things financial planning brings up. It defines risk tolerance, time horizon, all of that stuff. But guess what? You provide the information. We provide the answers. Now, the processes is two different trails. Planning trail is where we charge a financial planning fee. That planning fee is typically an annual fee. We charge half of it up front, the other half after about 3 or 4 meetings. Our plans could be designed into a 3-part meeting or a 5-part or even longer, depending on how complex or confusing your situation might be. But it begins that first year. And then that planning concept is that we're there as the advisor. Many, many times it leads to where we're the advisor, the full advisor, managing the assets or some of the assets also. And we collect a fee on that side. And so it's sort of an either-or concept, a path. It could be a planning trail or an investment trail. Some people are a little frustrated with where they are on their investments, and they want a portfolio designed for the long haul. And so what we do is we build investment plans and investment portfolios for that, and we actively manage that for many, many people around the country. So when it comes to your process and where you are, checking out Acres Financial Group is extremely important.
Now, Brian mentioned earlier that you come in with one question and then we ask a bunch of questions back. I want you to imagine if you went to the doctor and you told the doctor, my head hurts. The doctor doesn't just say, here's a pill, go away. He starts asking you questions. He wants to figure out what's going on. He might send you for tests to figure out what's going on before he recommends a treatment. That's the same thing that we do. We ask a lot of questions. We gather information from you to make sure that we know what's going on, and then we can make those recommendations that are in your best interest that can prepare you for tomorrow and the day after that, the day after that. There might be some things, like Brian said, that you didn't even know should be a question. And we'll bring those up to you and talk you through why they're important and what needs to happen. Our job as financial planners is to put you on the right path so that you can win in retirement.
Now, many of you might be out there doing your own trading, and I consider that like a business, and hopefully you're very successful at it. And in financial planning, we got to take some of that success and start to diversify into some lower risk areas so that you build your full financial plan to make you always successful. Because investments can rise quickly and fall quickly if you're not careful on how you build your finances. So this show, Winning in Retirement, is about you winning in retirement. At Acres Financial Group, we want your biggest worry of your day to be where you're going to drink your cup of coffee, not when you're retirement, about where the money's going to come from, or is that check coming, or do I have enough money to keep retirement going? You need to have a more relaxed retirement by knowing you're taken care of. And having a team of advisors to help you is exactly what you need to do. So give us a call at Acres Financial Group. One of our team of advisors will sit down with you and go over through a free meeting. That meeting can be done through a virtual meeting, which is like a phone or a virtual Zoom, or it can be done in person, mask to mask. So what you need to do is give us a call at 833-WIN-RETIRE, 833-WIN-RETIRE. When you call, just leave a voice message. Susan will set up that meeting, virtual or in person, and we'll go from there. Now, what I'm thinking about is this, is that you need to just give us a call at 833-946-7384 or visit acresfinancialgroup.com. Thank you for listening today. I'm Brian Akers from Akers Financial Group, and we want you to be winning in retirement.
You've been listening to Winning in Retirement with your host, Brian Akers of Akers Financial Group. Brian Akers of Akers Financial Group is a registered representative offering securities through Kalos Capital Incorporated and investment advisory services through Kalos Management Incorporated. Akers Financial Group is not an affiliate or subsidiary of Kalos Capital or Kalos Management and does not provide tax and legal services. Advice given on Winning in Retirement is general in nature, and one should seek further advice from their financial advisor, broker, attorney, or tax accountant before investing. Be sure to read each prospectus carefully to understand all the risks associated with each investment.